From the headquarters of the Guild of Champions, this is the Becoming Thin podcast. And I'm your host, Chris Terrell. And welcome to another week of the weight loss quest. How did this last week go for you, champion? What new challenges did you encounter? But more importantly, what failure did you go through and what lesson did you get from that failure? Come on now. Don't let a perfectly good failure go by without you getting your lesson. That's your reward for your troubles. Now, if you're new here, I've lost 125 pounds myself after an entire adulthood chronic yo-yo dieting. Up, down, up again. Before I finally got sick and tired of being sick and tired and fat, and made some permanent, meaningful, and actual changes to my real-life lifestyle, habits, routines, environment, community, and to my systems of belief. Because it's all 6 of those things that create the results of my life. And it's the same things that create the results in your life. And if you want to get permanent, meaningful, and actual changes, you're going to need to change meaningfully those 6 things. In my maintenance program today, which I run on Fridays in the Guild, we just had another person cross the finish line. They just crossed into their maintenance window, which is their 5-pound window, and that's where you begin your transition into maintenance. And I love when I get to meet somebody at the finish line of their journey, especially when I got to watch them on the journey. So you know who you are. Congratulations. Now, in that, I had asked the person, what would you tell yourself in the past? I like to ask people that have just crossed the finish line. I like to ask them things because everything's so fresh and you remember it. You can still hold the whole journey in your mind. Over time, you begin to forget, as crazy as it sounds. You think you'll never forget this stuff that you're going through and this adventure that you're on, but you do. You begin to forget. You intellectually remember it, but you don't emotionally remember it. Not the same. But when I get to talk to somebody at that phase, it reignites it within me, and it's really fun. But she said, this lifestyle, habits, routines, environment, community, and belief systems. She said, I had to change all of those. And I couldn't change one without it affecting the other. And it was like, that's it. That is such an important aspect that I lead every podcast episode with it. When I was trying to design, what's going to be my catchy intro, I knew I needed to standardize that and have something. And I didn't want to do a pre-recorded intro. I wanted to record it live every time. So it needed to be something that I was going to be comfortable saying over and over and over and over again. And when I did that one time as a test, as soon as I did it, I was like, that's it. I got to kind of tweak with it how I want to say it to have it roll off my tongue where I'm comfortable saying it all the time. But that's it. It's so important. You have to make permanent, meaningful, and actual changes to your real life lifestyle, your real life habits, your real life routines. Your day-to-day, all the time, absolutely normal lifestyle habits and routines. Your Christmas routine, it needs to change somehow. I don't know how. It might only need to change a smidge. It might need to change a lot. For some of y'all, the holiday season is a food fest. It's all about food and it's sweets. Food and sweets, right? Giving it, making it for each other, all having it, maximizing, saying yes. You think about making it and cooking it, and you think, well, it's the holiday season. Of course you do this. That would be depriving myself to not sit and bake a whole bunch of stuff during the holidays. That's what you're supposed to do, right? That's your belief system. That's a part of your routines that go with the holidays, and it's all connected with your community because you all swap it out with each other. You hear where I'm getting at? And so when you try to break from that, the system that you live in tries to hold you in it. So your community, they'll keep bringing you food. They're going to keep tempting you. They're going to keep inviting you to do things. So the community is holding you in it. And of course, in your own damn mind, you've got these habits that you weirdly want to do. You just want to do them. So much so that if you don't do them, it creates a bit of discomfort, sometimes even as far as pain, if you don't execute the habit. And not only that, you have belief systems in your mind, like, well, it's the holidays. I'm supposed to have a lot of food. That's just a belief system. And you have it in your mind as an actual belief. And remember, we question all our beliefs except for the ones we truly question. Those are facts in our mind, and we'll never stop and question them. So the fact, question, belief of, oh, well, if I go out to take my daughter to get ice cream, I should get some with her. It would be weird if I didn't. I might give her a complex. That's your belief system telling you how to act. And we always act in accordance with our beliefs. And so I've had that conversation, by the way, about the ice cream with the kid. I don't know how many times I've had that conversation with people. And every time I'm like, that's just literally, you just change that belief. But when they're talking to me, they're assuming I'm operating from the same premise that it is a fact that you should just, if you go with your daughter to get ice cream, you should get some too. And every time I'm like, I just take my stepdaughter and I don't get any. I go with people all the time that want ice cream and I don't get any. Like, what? I'm like, no, and I don't feel like I'm depriving myself. I didn't wake up that day planning to get ice cream. If I had woken up that day thinking like, I think I want to get some ice cream today, and that opportunity landed in my lap, I'd probably go get some. That happens in the summer, especially. But it doesn't happen often. But you see, these are the beliefs. I had to change those. I once held the belief that if you go out with people that are getting ice cream, I should get it. That would be weird to just sit with them while they get ice cream and not. They might feel funny. No, let's be real. I didn't actually think that. That's where I would deceive myself due to my beliefs, where I would hide things away. Actually, I would feel funny. I would feel deprived, but I didn't want to say that. Well, I'm going to feel deprived, like I don't get to have any. So I'm going to sit there and tell everybody, no. Well, I don't want to make them feel bad. I don't want to make them feel self-conscious about it. Now, if you'd have pressured me, yeah, I probably would have come clean. They'd be like, well, actually, I want it. I feel bad. Like I should get to have some. That's not fair. They're all getting to have some ice cream and I'm not. You hear it again. There's my belief system showing its face. And of course, when you have a belief system, what do humans tend to do? We tend to find people that share our belief system. We find people that are similar to us. Drinkers find other drinkers. Crackhead finds other crackheads. Sports enthusiasts find other sports enthusiasts. And then even within the sports enthusiasts, they find each other at a large level, but then they break up into little subcategories and kingdoms, with your different sports teams. Apple versus Android. We align with people that have the same belief systems. And what happens when a green bubble shows up in a blue bubble chat group? All the blue bubble people are like, hey, you're ruining our chat thread. And they're trying to hound and peer pressure the person into getting an iPhone so we can have our blue bubbles back. I do that. So we like to find people that agree with us. Doesn't it seem to reason that the belief systems that we had or have that contributed directly to gaining weight and preventing weight loss, does it stand to reason that there too you would unconsciously collect other people in your life and connect with them that share that belief? Is it possible that because of the way you liked to eat food, you found other people in your life that like to eat food the way you like to eat food? Is it possible? I'm going to challenge and submit that it is not only possible, it is inevitable. It is exactly what happens. When I look in my own life, and I look at the people I ate with, there were certain people that I realized I never ate with. And it's not because we couldn't, and it's not because they didn't eat out. We just didn't eat like each other. We didn't approach food the same way. And what's funny is once I lost weight, I started eating out with different people. The people I used to eat out with, I don't eat out with them anymore because we don't eat the same. Almost like how an alcoholic, they can hang out with their buddies that drink alcohol, but they can't do activities that involve alcohol. So if their friends party and they're maybe recently sober and their friend's party is going to have booze, they may not go because they know when I'm there, that person's going to have booze. Everybody around them's going to have booze because my old buddy's an alcoholic and doesn't know it. And so they're all going to be pressuring me to have the thing. They know exactly the magic combination of phrases to tickle my brain to cause me to want to do it. Because my belief system is still installed. The way I approach food is still there. So we speak the same language. The same phrases piss us off. The same phrases get us excited. We know how to get each other to react because we share a belief system. That means the things we like are matching and the things we dislike are matching. You'll notice this with politics, the Democrats and Republicans. It's not like they like to commingle all the time and talk politics. No, the Democrats like to talk politics with the Democrats. The Republicans like to talk politics with the Republicans. And they each like to pretend like they know what the other is saying when very few of them actually go spend considerable amounts of time in the other camp. They don't actually know. And as I say this, of course, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Just like Christians and atheists don't sit down often together in big groups and discuss God, because that doesn't sound fun to anybody involved. It's just going to be argumentative. Every now and then, some people like to come engage in a spirited debate about such a thing, and people like to watch it, but people don't want to participate in it. They like their echo chambers. It is a natural thing. I am not saying this is good. I am not saying this is bad. I am saying this is just something that happens with humans in groups. We find people that share a belief system. And with the internet, now our belief systems, we're able to connect with other humans all across the globe. Think about it. All the flat earthers have been able to find each other. There was a bunch of flat earthers before, less than there are now, I imagine. But now they've been able to find each other. And then when somebody else goes, I wonder if the earth is flat, they can find them too. That's how I found my way out of the Mormon land. My entire world was Mormon. Everybody I knew was Mormon. Anybody whose opinion mattered to me was Mormon. I had no way to be exposed to the rest of the world because I was completely insulated from it while somehow still living in it. I was taught, be in the world, but not of the world, is what I was taught. I was literally taught, you are in it, moving through it, but not part of it. But the internet came along, and this pesky little thing called Reddit, where I could find the ex-Mormon subreddit back when it was like 5,000 members. It was much smaller than that then. It was a very different place. The internet was a very different place then. Anyway, I don't want to get on that tangent. I was able to get exposed to alternative perspectives of life, of what I viewed. And I was able to find my way out. Now, if you're a Mormon, you're probably like, oh, how could you do that? But if you're not a Mormon, you're like, yeah, good for you, man. Like, I've had the full gambit of reactions to my departure from Mormonism to whatever I am. And so, like, think about that. The whole spectrum of reactions. Because if people agree with it, they like it. If they disagree with it, they don't. The same goes when you're trying to lose weight. Your lifestyle, your habits, and your routines all are connected to that. Your belief systems, your community, and your environment are all connected to them. Think of the community you're with. If you have the belief system that I should have food around me, I should never be too far from food, because if I want some food, I should have it nearby. Like, why not? I've got money and I've got storage space. I got to put something in the storage space. I'm going to want the food, so let's have it nearby. And if I know I'm going to want food, and I know I'm going to want good food, because whenever I go to eat, I would never ask myself, what do I want? I would say, what sounds good? You hear the difference? It's not, oh, I'd like some food. No, it's, what's the good food? Right? I need the good. And not just good, it needed to be a slam dunk. Even for a little pesky snack, just for hunger. But of course, I wasn't eating for hunger. I was eating for vibes, for funsies. Because for whatever reason, I did not need a reason to eat, but I would always take a reason to eat. If given one, I was going to take it. But if in the absence of a reason, it's not like that was going to stop me. If I decided I want it, wanting it was reason enough. There was never any reason for me to stop and question that. That was my belief system. That's how I viewed it. This was not something I questioned. This was not something that I debated with people. This was not something that anybody in my world questioned. You know why? Because if they agreed with me, they talked about it the same way I did. And if they disagreed with me, they didn't try to talk to me because I knew everything. I've actually gone back and asked people, I'm just curious, what did you think when you saw me doing this? When you saw me doing all this yo-yo dieting? When you saw me talking about food? Once I realized that the people I thought were doing it naturally by magic weren't. They were actually following a plan and they knew what they were doing. Huh, that was an illusion-shattering thing. Anyway, I went back to them and asked them, I was like, hey, what did you think? And several answers were something to the effect of, I'm going to use my words. None of them said this, but this is what I heard, all of it combined to one. I was unapproachable. My belief systems, as all belief systems do, have something called a defense mechanism. You have what I like to refer to as an allergic response. If a belief system gets an offending belief in contact with it, it repels it. Think of it like pollen. Any of you noticing this time of year, you're starting to get the sniffles? I'm starting to get the sniffles. The pollen's hitting me. It begins to trigger an automatic system or a physical thing to happen to reject what is happening within you. Your mind and your belief systems do the same thing. So when your mind comes into contact with a belief system that is offensive to it, if you are not careful, that belief system, which, by the way, is your ego's rule book, and if your ego is in charge, not you, so if you are in a reactionary state of being and your ego goes, oh, something is happening, how am I supposed to react to this? What does the belief system rule book say? It is that one, that's an offending one, countermeasures, lash back out. Stonewall. Deflect, redirect. You do all your funny ninja skills that humans like to do, and we just decided we ain't talking about something. Because think about it. If somebody does not want to talk about something, you cannot make them. You can try, and sometimes you can really make them, but that comes at a cost. So if somebody doesn't want to talk about something and you're actually trying to help them, and if they refuse to talk about it, there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. So if you got a loved one in your life, by the way, you want to talk about weight loss, it's going to do you no good. They ain't ready to listen because their defense mechanisms are up. They have to shut down. They have to shut down their countermeasures. I had to drop my guard and drop my internal countermeasures to offensive ideas. I had to stop reacting and stop letting my system take over because it was just operating off of the belief system rule book that I had installed unknowingly. Not like I knew what was on it. I never stopped and looked. I never stopped and thought, what do I believe? What do I not believe? What am I willing to do? How will I react in an offending belief? Like I never stopped and thought about that. I never devoted any time to thinking about how is the best way to respond when faced with a belief system that triggers an allergic response within me. Because in my life, I was raised Mormon and then realized that's not right, and then I left it. But I used to get that allergic response. It took like 10 years for me to lower the defense mechanisms, slowly lowering them. And nobody could have helped me do it faster. It just took that long. And that's what it is with weight. Look, some people, they take a while to turn around. That's okay. You turn around when you turn around. So there's no standard. It's not like there's a right time. I mean, the right time's already passed. It was in the past. The next best time is now. And if it's not now, you'll do it in the next now or in the next now. You can only change in the now. So it's just whenever you're ready, you'll do it. But with these belief systems, we don't let ourselves get ready. We keep our defense mechanisms up. And we've surrounded ourselves with people that share our beliefs and share our defense mechanisms, so other groups can't even get to us. And we begin to coalesce. And many of you, if you're like me and you look around, you begin to notice all the parties you go to are loaded with food. Lots of food. And a lot of talking about food and pressure, social pressure to eat the food. You'll notice that. And you'll notice it's not like an infrequent thing, like a once a quarter potluck at church. No. You'll notice this is like turning into a weekend thing, every weekend thing, and maybe 1 or 2 nights a week with different people. You're starting to realize like you're gathering to celebrate. Oh, and if you're celebrating, got to have food all the time. I've had a lot of people over the years of working with them where they're like, oh, we've got this special thing we're going to do, in 2 weeks. I was like, oh, well, I don't understand. Why is that going to mess up your weight loss journey? And then the more they start telling me about it, I'm like, this sounds like it's a food vacation wrapped around in something to do. Is it the food? What's the primary? Let me ask you this. If you weren't going to have any of the food, none of it, would you still want to go? If the answer is no, you're going for the food. Own it, at least. If at least you're going to go for the food, like at least say, I'm going because I want to get all this food. But no, we don't do that. We don't do that because if we do that, we feel guilty. I would have felt guilty if I called my shot on how much food I was going to eat in a day. If I woke up in the morning on a Wednesday and said, you know what, today I'm going to drive over to McDonald's. I'm going to get 2 bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits and a large latte, whole milk, mocha. And then I'm going to drive to work. And while I'm at the office, I'm probably going to have at least 1 handful of chocolate candies, the little Kit Kat and the crackles and the Hershey's, because we always had them in the bowl up front. I'm going to grab me a small handful on the way to a meeting because I don't like being in the meetings. And I'm going to eat that whole thing right there. And I'm going to put the little pile of wrappers in front of me. I'm probably not going to be the only one in the room doing it either. I'm going to do that. And then as close to noon as possible, I'm going to go around and find anybody that wants to go to lunch. And then we're going to go to Five Guys, where I'm going to get a double bacon cheeseburger, a whole little fry to myself, which is an insane amount of fries with Cajun. And I'm going to get a boat, not the little thingy. I'm talking the thing you put the peanuts in. I'm going to fill that entire thing with ketchup. And I'm going to eat the entire thing. I'm going to eat all of it. I'm actually, not only that, when I reach the point of physical discomfort and pain, I'm going to sit there and wait for it to pass so I can eat more. And then I'm going to sit there and wait for it to pass till I can eat more. And I'm going to do that until it's time to leave. Because the fries aren't gone. Why would I leave? I don't want to leave. And why would I waste this food? So I'm going to eat all of it. I'm going to eat all of it. And not only that, because of how much food I just ate, I am going to destroy the bathroom. And then I'm going to have 2 or 3 snacks in the afternoon. And then when I get home, because it's Wednesday and that's pizza day, I'm going to call Pizza Hut on the way home and order a large deep dish double pepperoni pizza with extra cheese. I'm going to order that and I'm going to call the person I was with at the time and say, well, hey, it's pizza night. Would you like me to get you something? Because I'm probably going to eat a little bit more than half the pizza. So would you like me to get you a pizza? And I would talk her into getting her a pizza. So I would be the peer pressure. In this case, pressuring her into getting her own pizza. Which, by the way, when I met her, she would only get a pan pizza. I had probably pressured her without even realizing it because I wanted to feel okay with about how much pizza I was eating. But she got a medium pizza for herself. Now, she would actually eat a part of it. Might eat it, and usually would eat it over a few days. Not me. I'd eat. It was this fun little game I'd play. I'm going to eat half the pizza and put it away. Because 4 slices of pizza, we're going to set aside it's a large pizza. 4 slices of pizza is a proper meal. That's a fair number of slices. Again, 4 slices of large, 4 slices of medium, It's just 4 slices. We ain't going to be bothered with things like size of the pizza. And what am I going to do? I'm going to eat all that. And then I'm going to need dessert. So when I'm watching my TV show or movie, I'm going to get a big old bowl with 3 to 4 big healthy scoopings of homestyle vanilla bluebell ice cream, and I'm going to put what I used to call a irresponsible amount of Hershey syrup in it because why not? It tastes good, and I'm going to have it, and I'm going to eat that whole bowl. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm not going to stop there. You see, now it's the fun next bet. I'm going to eat the next bowl. Probably get 1 more, maybe. But maybe I'll be done, and then I'm going to go down to my man den, and I'm going to think and play some video games, and I'm like, you know what? I'll bet 1 more slice of pizza tastes good. And why don't I just go ahead and tell you what's going to happen with the rest of it? I'm going to eat the rest of that pizza. That entire pizza is going to be gone, and if not, I'm going to eat it for breakfast. And I'll probably have some more snacks, as well as popcorn and chips. What if I would not call that every day. I would not say I'm going to do that. If I had sat and just described everything I eat in a single day to myself before I did it, I wouldn't do it. I would not do it. And so when I'm going to go on a vacation to eat a shit ton of food, I'm not going to say that because I'm not good with that. I'm going to say I'm going on a vacation. Oh, well, since I'm on vacation, I got to get some good food. You hear the difference? Not, I want to get some really good food. Where could I go and just spend a lot of time eating at a bunch of great restaurants? I'm not going to say that. And the beauty is, because of my community and my belief systems, no one else I hung out with was going to say it either. We all were going to say. And if one of us might break rank and might try to not do it, the rest of us come on, it's vacation. You're supposed to have good food, right? It's vacation. That wouldn't be right. Would you get deprive yourself on vacation? Come on. No, it's all right. No problem. It's vacation. It's a special occasion. There's no reason to do it. One time I heard somebody say, calories don't count on vacation. Like, what? Yes, they do. Calories count. But you know what I did when I heard that? I laughed and I told a whole bunch of people for like 2 years that joke. I thought it was hilarious. But you see how your belief systems and your community will hold you back? So you got some party that wants to change and you're looking at all this stuff. I got to be honest. It's hard. It is hard to break from all that stuff. When your entire world is trying to keep you stuck the same, it's hard to break free. It's hard to break free. That leads to the most important thing of change. Failure. You're going to fail. That's why I start every podcast episode mentioning the next most important thing. Failure. If you're not failing, you're not pushing. If you're not failing, you're staying the same. And I'm not saying you need to fail all the time in your life. I'm saying whatever the thing is that you're pursuing, you should be regularly failing in pursuit of it until you have it. If you don't have it, it's because you don't know how yet. And if you don't know how yet, it's because you're unwilling to go find out where you don't know how. And you find out where you don't know something by failing. Failing reveals to you your weaknesses so you know where to go do the work and level up so that you can then do it. But if you won't let yourself fail, you'll never learn any of it. And many of us with weight loss, we don't let ourselves fail. And to make it worse, when we do fail, we don't keep our failures original. We're like a fly trying to get out of the room. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, hoping for a different result. I had to keep reciting that to myself in the beginning of my journey. I'm like, I got to not be the stupid fly banging his head against the glass. I got to be smarter than a fly. Right? I got to stop bouncing off this thing. Why can't I get through it? Dink. Why can't I get through it? Dink. Why can't I get through it? Dink. Maybe I should try going, no, let's do it the same way. Dink. No. So what was I doing with weight loss? Let's try to lose it this way. Wow, that didn't work. I'm the problem. Let's try it again. Oh, wow, that didn't work. I'm the problem. Oh, wow, let's try this diet again. I'm the problem. Wait a minute. I keep saying I'm the problem. Why don't I fix me? You see, I always knew I was the problem. But what's funny is I wouldn't work on me. I would work on everything around me. I'd work on my friends, my family, my job, my food, my house, my car, the activities, everything. But I would know I'm the problem. I even knew the way I thought was the problem. But if you were to say, Chris, how much time have you spent actively and diligently learning about your mind, how to use it, how to think, and where you're the problem? You keep saying you're the problem. Okay, how? How are you the problem? How much time have you spent figuring that out? If somebody walked up to me and asked me and I was being truthful, I would not have had a very good answer. It would have been like, does thinking about it while I drive in the car count? I mean, no, not really. Not if it doesn't lead to any action or new thoughts. Like, what have you read? What have you read to help you figure out how you're the problem so that you can fail, figure out where you're the problem, fix it, and then not be the problem? What books have you read to help you with that? I read the Tony Robbins book. Okay, that 650-page behemoth. Okay, you read it. How many times? Did you finish it? No, I made it like half the way through it. Seriously, you didn't even finish it? It's 650 pages. You're right. That's a big book. Okay. Did you go find a little one? How about As a Man Thinketh? Itty bitty book. Itty bitty. How about that one? If you read any little books, how about them? No. Oh, you're not reading them either. Okay. We live in the land of podcasts. What podcasts do you listen to that are challenging your thinking? Which ones? Oh, not many. Okay, but let's say you're listening to some of them. It's like, okay, what did you listen to 2 months ago? Okay, great, that. What do you remember? What sticks with you? Are you just listening and letting it whiz on by, or are you listening to learn? You see, if you'd asked me those questions before, I would have been like, no, I'm listening to feel good. I don't actually like. I don't want to give these things up. I don't want to give these things up. So we're going to wrap up here because I keep going on this for a long time. Hey, if you have found this sort of information interesting, this is me just sort of showing you a little bit of the mindset approach. I like to deconstruct what happens. Why did we gain the weight? It's important to understand why. If we don't understand what caused it, we don't know how to fix it. If you have a flat tire, putting oil in the engine isn't going to fix it. Even if it needs oil, it doesn't fix the tire. To fix the tire, you have to address the flat tire. But a lot of us don't know that. I mean, we think we're addressing the problem, but we're not addressing the real problem. The real problem is our lifestyle, habits, routines, environment, community, and belief systems. We have to address those. And my mission has been the whole time to help anybody that is seeking to lose weight in a permanent way, like I did, is to teach you how to do it. But not teach you like, let me give you the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 step I did. I have helped, I don't even know how many people, I've completely lost count, the number of people I've helped lose weight. I have not seen 2 people that are the same. Everybody's unique. Everybody. And so it's like, if I wrote a plan and said, this is the plan, I would know. The moment I made it and said that, I was lying to you. It is not the plan. It is a plan. It may not work for you, but it might work for that person. What I realized is I have to approach your weight loss the way a company like Salesforce approaches a business. When I first bought an enterprise level solution like Salesforce, there were others that I bought like it before, but this is one I know many of you will know because it crosses so many industries. I didn't know you get a blank warehouse. You didn't, like, they show you all the demos of all the things it can do. And they're like, here you go. You get to have it. It's like, wait, it doesn't do anything. Oh yeah, you got to pay a consultant $50,000 to help you set it up. Like, what? But what happens is you make the system completely customized to the way you do business versus a lower level system where you do business the way they tell you to do business, the way the engineer made the software. They don't make it adaptable. They make it effective and efficient. Salesforce makes it effective, efficient, and adaptable. You can adapt it to your needs, so it's more effective. It can be useful for more people. We need that for weight loss, where you're given a process, a system that you can make effective, efficient, and adaptable, but you have to make it. You have to sit down and go, what do you need? What do you need? What is important to you? What is not important to you? What kind of life do you want to have? What are your clear goals? You have to know all that stuff. What are the current problems? Hey, we're installing a new way of doing things. What are the current problems in your life, and how can we address them? How can we clean them up during this switchover? When you're changing over your lifestyle, habits, routines, environment, community, and belief systems, you can't swap that all out overnight. Most people don't have the means to do that. Virtually no one does. And even if you did, you find that community component will keep you trapped. That community component will hook you in. It's the community and belief systems. Those two will just keep you hooked. And then if you combine your environment with it, oh gosh, now you're really hooked. And then if you put a bunch of habits in there, now you can live your life unconsciously. You don't even have to pay attention and you live your life. Yeah, it keeps you stuck. When I started teaching weight loss, I would work with people one-on-one, and I thought they just wanted to know how I lost weight. So like, okay, well, let me teach you how to count calories. Like, that's not everything. I know that's not everything, but like, you want to lose weight today. Like, you don't want to wait 6 months and do all the mindset work. You're like, no, I want to lose weight now. I'm like, okay, well, I guess you're ready. Like, I was ready one day, but what I didn't realize is a lot of people thought they were ready. They wanted to be ready. They weren't actually ready. They were ready to take a stab at it. But when it got hard, they were going to quit. They weren't ready to commit. Not like that deep resolve, like, no, I'm not turning around. I'm not quitting. Quitting is off the table. I'll fail 10,000 times. I don't care. People would tell me that, but they didn't mean it. And so what I started noticing is people, when we'd stop working together, some would make it, some wouldn't, because some did mean it and some didn't, but I couldn't tell. And so what started happening is I didn't feel good about like, well, it's not up to me, you know. That's what other coaches kept telling me. And I'm like, no, that just means they're earlier in the journey. I want to help everybody lose weight. I don't want to just help the people that are at this one individual super specific frame of reference. Like, if you're 400 pounds, you're starting at a different place than somebody that's 200 pounds. But it's the same journey. It's just one of you is doing it longer. And you've got some, you know, the mindset part's going to be a bigger deal. So the more I started to think about that, I was like, no. I got to help people that aren't ready to commit, but they're ready to begin the process of committing. They're ready to do that. They're ready to begin turning around. And it's like, well, where do you go if that's you? What coach do you get? It's like, I'm not ready to lose weight, but I'm ready to work on my foundation. I'm ready to become, I don't know what I'm ready to become, but I'm ready to stop doing what I'm doing because it's not making me happier anymore. But I don't know how to stop. Where do you go? And that's who I wanted to work with, because that was me. I didn't know how to stop. I didn't want to keep being me. I didn't want to keep living that life I was living, but I didn't know how to get out of it. I felt completely trapped. And I got help. I started learning some new belief systems. But more importantly, I started changing my community out. I started changing my people out. I started having new people that I could talk about my new beliefs with, that wouldn't challenge them, they would reinforce them. So when I was seeking to normalize going to some distant relative's birthday party and not getting birthday cake, it was helpful to be able to reach out to somebody and them reassure me that it's not weird to not have cake. Like, that's not weird. Even if somebody says it's weird, it's not weird. It's only weird to them. To lots and lots of other people, it's normal. To lots of people, eating cake every time there's cake is weird. Like, remember, so it's all about the perspective. Like, I needed people to tell me that when I felt a little cuckoo in my brain mid-transformation. And I realized as a coach, I can only provide that level of service to about 4 people. And for the last several years, I have only coached one-on-one, maximum 4 people, unless I'm in a transition period where one is winding down and another's ramping up. Because that's all I can serve. Because we got to be able to talk at 9 at night when you're about to go into a situation and you need a belief system check. You know, you need to be like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, but I don't know if, is this the right way to look at it? No. I'll try it like this. Like, you're fine. You're fine. This is not a weird thing, what you're about to do. Because you're in the trenches. You're going to war every day. And when I tried the one-on-one thing with clients, I found that didn't work. When it was like, let's meet once and then we'll see each other again in 2 weeks. Like, no. You need support and everything in between. But I can only do about 4 people. But then it clicked. Part of why I was successful was I had a community. And it wasn't a community of one. It was a community of many. Now, I had to cobble mine together. And I was very blessed that I had a good chunk of my family that I could lean on. And none of them ever made me feel bad. Ever. When I started getting inquisitive and asking, to me, what felt like very elementary questions of like, how do you decide what you eat for lunch? 34 years old asking my brother this. How do you decide what to eat for lunch? Because I'm a humbled man at that point. I just don't know. I've been trying like this forever. I ain't figured it out. Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing. And I realize all my clients, that's what they need. They need a community. And that's where the idea of the guild came from. You need people that are on the journey. I knew. I even had a term for it. It's in my journals. I called it OSPs, only supportive people. I realized I've got to protect my dream, protect my goal, protect my new beliefs, my new habits. They're fragile. They're delicate. But I need to talk about it with people. I need people to help me. I need ideas. It's hard to create in a vacuum. And I remember just being like, if I show this to people that have the old belief systems, they're going to tear it apart. They're going to rip it to shreds. I can't have that. And so I realized I can only talk to this to people that support and encourage me. I don't need accountability buddies. I realized that. I didn't need accountability partners. What I needed was encouragement partners. I needed support partners, not accountability. The problem was I was never learning to be accountable to myself. Every time I hired an accountability buddy, I thought I was doing the right thing. I was doing the wrong thing. I was outsourcing my accountability. And what that was doing was not teaching me how to hold myself accountable, and nor was it teaching me how to be held accountable by myself. There were two parts to that equation. I had to learn both sides. I didn't know either. I needed people to relentlessly encourage me. And when I began to not believe in myself, when I began to think I'm going to quit, when I had that bad night, when the day got better of me and the old beliefs won, and I'm sitting there that morning after being like, why did I do that? Why did I just eat an entire half a tub? Why did I take the tub of peanut butter to my bedroom? I knew I was going to eat it. Why did I do that? I needed somebody I could call, I could reach out to, send a Marco Polo to, and get some encouragement. Hey, you're fine. It's okay. Just keep going. You're on the right path. I needed that. And yeah, I knew it, but no, I needed to explain what I did and get some reassurance, and somebody that wasn't going to make me feel bad. They were like, oh, I totally understand. I used to do that too. I totally would do that too. You just got to let yourself off the hook. I know it's crazy. I know it sounds nuts. I had a hard time letting myself off the hook too. But that is the answer. That is the answer. You just have to have the courage to let yourself off the hook, and you're going to feel like you got away with something. You didn't. You didn't get away with anything. You're owning that you did this. That's the right thing. You're owning that you did it, and you're saying that wasn't right, but you're letting it go. You need that when you're feeling that. Having that told to you 5 days later doesn't provide a lot of help. You need to hear it in the moment. And I realized with community, people can help each other. But they got to be doing it sort of focused up, right? Because I used to always join these weight loss communities, and you get 10,000 different ways. It turned into the blind leading the blind. This is the weird part. A community needs a leader. I got lucky that the majority of my community were related and closely knew each other. So they all sort of philosophically aligned. I didn't know that was important. There's lots of different ways to become thin. There's lots of different ways to stay thin. But you can't do a little bit of a bunch of different ways. You can't Frankenstein this. You got to kind of pick a path. But I didn't even know there were lots of paths. I thought there was just one secret path that I hadn't found yet. And you have to kind of customize it to you. And then you got to habitualize and make it normalized, so you do it automatically. And this is where I realized it helps when a community is all philosophically aligned. They don't have to be aligned in what they're doing, but they need to be aligned in the philosophy behind it with what they're doing. And this way, when people are supporting and encouraging each other, you're getting shared information. People are pointing to like, hey, if you're wanting to learn more about calories, go here. Hey, if you're wanting to learn more about this, go get it here. And what it turns into, you don't want the community teaching itself. You want the community supporting itself, encouraging itself. The community needs guides. It needs leaders who have walked the walk, who can turn around and then come back and say, now I'm going to help somebody else. I can't help you. I can't touch you. You got to do this all on your own, but I can walk next to you. I can be a couple of steps ahead of you helping somebody out. You keep going, and I'm going to come back and find you. And when you get to the finish line, there's going to be a bunch of us there cheering for you. But don't worry, you won't walk alone. Someone's going to come get you. That's what the community does. My job is to give you the information. My job is to help you have a way of looking at things that empowers you. But it's just to give you a perspective. You're to take it, personalize it, and customize it, and to have a supportive community that will allow you to do that. They won't try to make you do it their way. You can't have a community shooting each other, right? You should do this, you should do that. No, it's like, oh, well, this is how this works. What are you struggling with? Hey, you can do this. You can overcome this. What do you need to learn? Oh, we can help you find what you need. Like, that's what you need. You need the encouragement. And this is why I created the Guild. Now, the Guild door's been closed for a while. I've been rebuilding it. We just launched side quests this week. I can't tell you much about it. I can't even tell the Guild much about it because they were planning it behind the scenes. But like this time by January, kind of cover out the Guild's gonna be a totally different place. I'll tell you more later. But anyway, if you want to get in on the Guild now, I'm getting ready to open the doors soon again. I've not opened them in a bit. They may not open again until the first of the year. Like, there's a very real possibility they don't open again until January 1. Because of all the stuff I want to do, I may elect to not bring in new members and instead to build out while we do it. So if you're thinking like, well, I was thinking I might join before the first of the year, this might be the only one. So if you're thinking about doing it, you don't have to commit. You don't got to do nothing. All you got to do is head on over to theguildofchampions.com and put your name on the wait list. That's all you got to do. You go if you're interested. When you're at theguildofchampions.com, it'll have information there for you. And if you're like, yeah, I think I want to do that, you can put your name on the wait list. And what that's going to do, I am only emailing waitlist people. So if you're not on that wait list, I'm not going to I hate bombarding people. Like, it just drives me nuts. So I'm doing this here at the end of the podcast. So if this isn't interesting to you, if you're like, no, I'm already in the Guild, or I don't want to do this, like, I'm wrapping the podcast up. I'll do a little motivational thing here in a second. But if you're thinking about doing it, head on over to theguildofchampions.com, put your name on the wait list. I'll send you some emails getting you primed, getting you ready for the doors to open. I'm going to send you a couple sample Guild meetings too, to let you get a taste of what it is and tell you a little bit more about what happens within it. It's month to month. You can cancel anytime. You're not locked into nothing. $70 a month, but I'm going to be doing a very special thing for that day, for a very special event. So I'll tell you more about it later. So be sure to be following the podcast. Now, for those of you on your journey, don't give up. Don't give up. If it's hard, that means you're doing it right. It is not easy to do this. If it were easy, everyone would have done it. You are not successful because the goal you want to get was easy and you were too weak. You have not been successful because the goal you want to get is incredibly difficult and you just haven't accepted that yet. That when it feels hard, that doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means that it's actually hard. But don't worry, because you can do hard things.